Way past cool, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Boodlefoot, and today I'm gonna be doing a watch it out loud video. Basically gonna be watching this video and I'm gonna be having y'all watch it with me. It's a video based on cause this cause where I live at, this is a predominantly black community, and like I know through history Caucasian folks and black folks didn't have the best, relations or best dealings or encounters or whatever, what have you. So in my community, I want to see, cause sometimes I ain't gonna lie, some people in my community traumatized and they'll never. This is no all respect to Caucasian folks. I just want to get to the nitty gritty, the potatoes and meat of why black folks don't date Caucasian folks and why Caucasian folks don't date black folks and what's the stigma, cause I wasn't alive during them times in the past when, there was a lot of things going on to our men and our women, our black folks, you know, and things like that. And I just want to understand, what did the Caucasian women do to our people back in the days? Because I've heard a lot of stories about, Caucasian women was just as bad as the slave master, or even sometimes even worse. So I found this video with this Caucasian lady, and it's speaking about basically what used to happen, what she used to do to black folks. And I never seen the video yet. I found it and I was like, no, I'm gonna just throw this on my channel. And I'm gonna be calling these videos when I do it like this, when I'm doing like talking about what I'm watching, and then after that I'm gonna go to the spot where I'm gonna go to another. You're gonna see me with the video, and we're gonna watch it together. These videos I'm gonna be doing is a new. I'm trying to do something new on my channel, so these are gonna be called Watch Out Loud. That's the only thing I can think of right now. If I think of something better than that, I'll bring it up. I'll change it. But these videos are gonna be called Watch Out Loud because it's a lot of videos that I found that I want to watch with my people. I am gonna be doing some commentary over the video, like stopping it sometime or stopping it midway through, or just doing a little comment here and there and stuff like that. But overall, I want y'all to watch the entire video and just get a concept of, what I'm trying to say, what the video is about, and any questions you want to ask, feel free to pull up to the comment section, or let your questions be heard. Speak up and let yourself be heard. But yeah, that'll do it. Past cool. It's your boy Woodlefoot signing out. I'm trying something new on my channel. This is called Watching It Out Loud. Um, so y'all check it out. Hope y'all enjoy this type of content. That'll do it. Past cool. It's your boy Woodlefoot signing out. Peace.
Wild accusations that were made about me is that I killed 800 children. I was medically experimenting on children compared to Adolf Hitler, soon to be part of the KKK.
This is a classic case of white savior complex, one that shook the people of Uganda. Renee Bach, a United States citizen, opened up the health center in Uganda. She was then accused of causing the deaths of 119 African children between 2010 and 2015. Renee claims she took 940 severely malnourished children, and 105 of them passed away. She had no medical training or license for her facility, and she was treating children who were almost on their deathbed.
Now this the thing, y'all. This lady basically fought her way all the way through just to get to the motherland and kill my little brothers and sisters or cousins and stuff like that, just to kill little black kids. Now this makes you think, how many other people over there in Africa right now are exploiting, trafficking, and SAing innocent children out there, bro? It's happening. It's real. And this right here is just one person. Just imagine, if it's one person like this, it gotta be more. Gotta be more.
What she did was reckless, unethical, and self-centered. And now she is getting a documentary series. Instead of getting arrested, this is just mind-blowing. Here's what happened in Serving His Children, SHC, a Christian nonprofit organization that Renee founded.
In these now deleted images, she's seen wearing a stethoscope, administering care to children. The plaintiffs say they only learned after their children died. Bach had no proper medical training.
Jinja, Uganda. In 2007, when Bach was just a teenager, she came here on an evangelical missionary trip. She started working at an orphanage run by other missionaries and stayed for 9 months. When she went back home, she felt like
this is why I don't trust mission trips when they go over to our country. First of all they gotta do to make our country rich is give us back our fucking land. Stop trying to own most of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's the most resourceful land on the planet, and it's melanated Negroes land. It's our land. You feel me? We don't need outsiders coming in trying to like dictate what to do or be some type of leader or something like that when they don't even know what's best for the people because they don't live there. It's why this is why you can't trust Caucasian folks, and not all of them. Some of them you may be able to with a grain of salt. Like I said, this is to be totally honest, man. If I don't like this type of commentary, then y'all can click off. You feel me? But this is being honest, man. Like, history is history. We can't change it. We can't rewrite it. We can only expose it and try not to relive it. You feel what I'm saying? And tell it like it is. And don't hide it. Don't cover it up. Tell it like it is. But yeah, man, just stay out of Africa, bro. If they can't send us back there, why they want to go there? Why, like, if we can't go back there, why do they want to be there so much? You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's because they can't send us back there, right? But get out of Africa, though. If Africa's such a war-torn, poverty-infested country, why is everybody trying to get a piece of it? Makes you think, don't it?
There was something that she was supposed to do. So, she raised the funds through local church circles in Bedford and traveled back to Jinja. This time, she had enough money to start her own charity organization, the SHC. She decided to document her experience on her blog. In Jinja, she is known as Aunt Renee. Renee is a U.S. citizen with no medical training. She has a CPR certificate and a high school diploma, which she got after she was homeschooled. The first time she went to Uganda, she was 18. She founded the SHC when she was 19. In 2011, she hired a couple of nurses from Uganda. She equipped her so-called clinic with IV catheters, oxygen tanks, and monitoring equipment. But one of the nurses said that Bach did most of the medical care herself. She was taking unnecessary risks, even though she didn't have the skills to treat these children. Now, her blog has been removed since news outlets got the hang of her story, but I managed to find some of what she wrote. While she was working at the clinic, she treated a 9-month-old baby. She said, and I quote, "I hooked the baby up to oxygen."
I just want to take this moment right here to say all credit to Black Culture Unlocked. I'm gonna add them in the middle or in the beginning. I'm gonna add them in the beginning. Credit to the Black Culture Unlocked. I forgot to say it in my intro, but credit to Black Culture Unlocked. I'm gonna leave a link to either not a link, but I'm gonna leave their channel so you can subscribe or just check out their content because their content is very very eye opening, and I reference their videos a lot. So I'm definitely gonna be dropping the link or some type of notoriety for you to see Black Culture Unlocked. I'm not gonna just drop their YouTube channel. I'm just gonna drop the YouTube channel for y'all. But yeah, let's continue.
And got to work. As I took her temperature, started an IV, checked her blood sugar, tested for malaria, and looked at her HB count. This is not something you do if you have no medical training. Without the correct technique, it is easy to hurt the baby. Putting the IV in can lead to complications like fluid overload, nerve damage, infections, and brain injury. This is serious stuff, especially for a baby. But there is more. She also tried to diagnose the baby. She wrote, "Got it. Malaria. Positive. HB 3.2. Both are a big problem, and together they create an even bigger, most likely fatal, problem for such a small child. She needed a blood transfusion, and fast. After doing a search for blood around Jinja Town, we found her type, and it was a match. We started the transfusion." Hold on a minute. Who is this we? Why are you starting a blood transfusion on a 9-month-old baby when you have no idea what you were doing? Who is controlling this? Why is this even allowed?
They say the mothers allege they were led to believe that Miss Renee Bach was a medical doctor and that her home was a medical facility.
Just look at what she has to say about it.
So, first off, I have never represented myself as a medical professional or health worker of any type. The organization Serving His Children hires medical professionals that are Ugandan, local and national folks. And I have assisted our medical team in emergency settings and in crisis situations, but I have never practiced medicine.
Let's take a step back now for a moment and analyze her story. Now, before Bach went to Uganda, she wanted to have a normal life, get married, and have kids. But shortly after she got her high school diploma, members of her church told her about an orphanage in Jinja, Uganda that needed volunteers. Jinja, a town of 80,000 on the northern shore of Lake Victoria, was a lively place where people were selling.
I ain't gonna hold you, y'all. Like, this stuff right here leaves a bad taste in your mouth, man. Like, especially the folks who really do want to go over to Africa and do these missionary trips. They probably do have good intentions, but because people like that mess it up for other people, man, it's like it ruins the reputation of outside influences or outside help or outside aid, what have you. It's bad, man. It's terrible. But let's continue.
Fruits and veggies and walking down dirt roads. Motorcycles and crowded minibuses were decorated with images of Bob Marley and Rambo. When Bach arrived there for the first time, she became a part of a prominent missionary community. She said it felt almost serene. She became a part of a prominent missionary community. She said it felt almost serene. She quickly immersed herself in a different culture and became obsessed with her work. It was something she loved to do. After returning to her parents' home about 9 months later, everything changed. Bach had no idea what to do with herself. She said she was trying to figure out which school to attend and what career path to pursue. Then, she had what she described as an almost supernatural experience. Kind of like an epiphany. It became evident to her, as if God was telling her that she was destined to go back to Uganda. She was meant to become a missionary. Even though she had no medical training or experience in the field, she decided to fund a medical nonprofit organization for children. That's when Bach started a feeding program. She used the money she raised through her church to feed children in Masese. Masese is a neighborhood near Jinja. In one of her blogs, she described the place as slum-like, but lively. She said there were many people from displaced camps, people from a lot of different clans and tribes.
That confuses me is because it's like how they keeping Africa poor, bro. Remember when I said in the POV, when I was like POV from Black Americans, American Africans to Africans in the diaspora. This is what I'm talking about. They always make it seem like Africa people are always suffering and starving and poor. You feel me? Like they always need a handout or need somebody to help them. And it's always, no offense, it's always some Caucasian folks coming over to be a savior. And our African brothers and sisters in the diaspora don't know that they have bad intentions. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. They exploitative, you feel me? And they do a lot of things, but they do this. Giving people the AIDS virus, destroying the land with Monsanto with seeds that makes the land unfertile to grow. Bro, they destroying the place, man. Come on. Stay out of Africa if y'all don't. Come on, man. And then they try to cover up their crimes that they do. You know? It's sad, bro. Nobody's going to take responsibility or take accountability for what they doing. Like, this lady's not even in jail. She's just getting a documentary from what he said. You know? That's wild. She should be in jail, bro.
It was hard for Bach to find a suitable location, a place she could rent. She said that Masese was on a side of a hill, and people were living in mud houses. Whenever it started to rain, flooding and lack of food would make their lives difficult. With the help of her friend, she managed to secure a large concrete house for rent from a government official who was away in Entebbe. This is where she started to experiment. Bach then began providing free lunches on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She hired a small team to help with the food and other activities, like Bible Club and Craft Day. By the end of the year, she was feeding around 1,000 children every week. The people who came to Bach for help were people who couldn't afford to go to a doctor. Their children were sick and malnourished. That's because in Uganda's public hospitals, patients often have to cover not just the cost of medicine, but also basic items like syringes and rubber gloves.
Half the country's population cannot afford.
Now that's another question. Why shouldn't you just team up with a hospital that's already there and give them aid, and they both like aid the people in general? You know, she's an outside source, so she can give the people whatever they need. If they had to pay for, you know, the medicine and pay for to be seen, why she ain't have that money to cover their expenses? You know, or give the hospitals, if they need more supplies, fund them the equipment they need. You know, that makes more sense than trying to start a whole a charity or a whole hospital, and then you turn around and do stuff like this. It makes you look bad, bro. Really. Anybody who comes after you, they're not gonna trust them. But should they? Ask yourself, should they?
Medical care, while 51% of Ugandans go to public health facilities to access free or cheaper medical care. The study, however, reports that patients are disappointed by the services in government hospitals and many look for other options.
For many families, even traveling to the hospital was too expensive. So, Bach would often personally take sick children to the pediatric hospital in town, known as Now Euphemia, and cover the expenses. When she looked back at this experience in her blog, she said that even though she helped, she didn't think it was enough. These people needed a long-term solution. So, she wanted to be the one who can make that change. When she saw how big of an issue malnutrition was in the area, she thought this was why God sent her back to Uganda. So, she invested more and more in her program. Soon enough, word started to spread, and a lot of families came asking for help. A 12-year-old girl arrived with her baby sister. A nearby resident brought a baby she had discovered in an outdoor toilet. The mother, who was 15 years old, died from HIV and tuberculosis. This baby turned out to be Sela, whom Bach later adopted. Healthcare professionals across the area quickly realized that Bach had access to resources they didn't. Bach started receiving referrals from 27 districts, and people began to travel for 8 to 9 hours just to reach the center where she worked. In 2009, Renee started the Serving His Children, SHC. This nonprofit organization got a certificate to continue doing activities that would provide support to those in need and spread religious beliefs. Bach hired a Ugandan nurse called Constance Alanya.
That's my other question. If she got the certificate, right, to get these certifications and stuff, why didn't she just get the medical practice and the medical know-how and just go to school for nursing or become a practitioner or something? I don't know if practitioners is really doing medical things, but do something where it's actually pertaining to medical, to the medical field where you can be more of an asset and you can be able more of a help than be more of a nuisance or be more of a, what did you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? I can't find the word right now. For lack of better words, I would just say do the medical training so you can be more help to the people. Instead of fronting and faking it, and you don't have the medical experience or the medical background. It makes you look crazy. It's like malpractice. What are you doing? That's a crime.
To look after the children. As she raised more funds from the United States, she was able to bring more nurses, nutritionists, and eventually doctors. However, it took nearly 4 years for SHC to obtain a license as a health center. In the meantime, Renee herself was providing medical care to patients. While her motivations may seem honorable, the way she did it was just unacceptable. Treating malnourished children is not as easy as it looks. You can't just give the kids milk or meals. When the body is malnourished, it begins to consume itself to survive. Intracellular enzymes don't function as they should, and major organs start to fail.
Malnutrition is when an individual isn't getting enough nutrient. It can be one nutrient or a variety of nutrients in their diet or in other ways to maintain optimal body function, immune function, all of that, muscle mass. It usually can be caused from not taking in the right amount of nutrients through diet, but it can also be caused by diseases such as cancer that affect the digestive tract, so that even if you take in the right nutrients, your body isn't able to digest them. And unfortunately, the result of malnutrition, if it's not treated, can be very serious.
When the body starts receiving nutrients, there is a huge shift in electrolytes. This can lead to a potentially life-threatening condition called refeeding syndrome. This condition can happen when someone starts eating again too quickly after not getting enough nutrition for an extended period. The child can develop low levels of phosphates in the blood, along with change in fluids, which can eventually lead to other health problems. In properly equipped pediatric intensive care units, doctors can monitor the child's electrolyte balance and adjust the treatment as necessary. Bach, however, did not have access to that level of care. But neither did the hospitals that contacted Bach to save these children. Still, she took it upon herself to treat the patients. In July 2010, she posted on her blog that she was going to get 4 more children from a local hospital. She then urged her followers to pray for them and their recovery. She also asked for prayers for her well-being, since she stated that she was suffering mentally. Soon, Bach took on more responsibilities than she could handle. She was asking people around.
And see, that's another thing. She captioned that picture. Oh, I was tired. This was day 6 of no sleep. Bro, it's something called doctor's fatigue. Doctor's not supposed to do excessive amount of hours of surgery or of any practice because there's doctor's fatigue where doctor can they can become delirious or delusional or not know exactly what they're doing because they need proper sleep. So she was just walking on a line of danger anyway. She was just walking on that line of a point of no return. She was just walking on that line. It's like walking on a volcano rim. You feel me? Down there is a pit of lava. She was walking on the rim of that. You know, she was doing something extremely dangerous. You don't even know how to heal these people or how to fix these people. You don't even have the medical know-how, the intelligence that goes along with it. What are you doing? And then you doing this on your own. Like you had medical people, medical personnel all around you, and you still insisted on doing the medical practices of healing these people or trying to diagnose these people on your own. Why? Why?
About how to do medical charts, and since a lot of people told her to buy a notebook and write it in, she did exactly that. Bach grew up learning that Christians are supposed to help those in need. With research and tenacity, people can achieve almost anything if they set their minds to it. Her mother used educational materials from a Christian homeschooling program to educate Bach and her siblings. Bach then used the same exact teachings in the SHC. When volunteers came to work at the SHC, they were met with the motto, "You don't have to be a licensed teacher to teach or be in the medical field to put on Band-Aids." In the summer of 2011, Jackie Kramlich, a certified nurse, volunteered at the center. She was one of the many American volunteers to come help. By this point, she said, Bach had already hired 3 Ugandan nurses. The nurses were there to help during the day.
Let's just say thank you to the nurse that was certified and she volunteered. That was probably the best thing that could have happened so far, was have a certified nurse working right beside you. Duh. You know? Especially from someone who, from her background, like who knows, who's from America. I'm trying to say, who's from the Western Hemisphere, who knows about the practices of being a medical personnel and stuff like that. You know, aside from the people who are in Africa, in Uganda, who have the medical know-how as well. But you know, iron sharpens iron and steel sharpens steel. If I'm a doctor and got some other medical personnel, I can go ahead and have a meeting with them and we can discuss on what we're going to go forth and how we're going to heal these people with the proper knowledge, the proper intelligence that we need to get this done properly. We can do that because I'm the doctor. These are medical personnel, probably a certified nurse like that lady, or just hands that want to help. All I have to do is instruct them on what to do and stuff like that. But you need somebody that's licensed or somebody that is certified to know what they're doing. It's not even just about practice. It's about safety, about liabilities and things like that. You cannot go out there just doing anything without no license or certification. It don't work like that. She know that too. Like, you're bugging, lady.
Working in a room Bach called the clinic. The place was fully equipped with monitoring equipment, IV catheters, and oxygen tanks. And when Jackie joined, the center was already treating a dozen kids at a time. When Jackie tried to get involved, she quickly realized that these kids were not just malnourished, they were suffering from serious diseases. I'm talking about tuberculosis, intestinal parasites, pneumonia, and even stage 4 HIV. And almost every week, a child died. But what shocked Jackie the most was the fact that Bach was treating most of these children herself. Just take a look at this excerpt from Bach's blog. This is baby Warsaw, one of the many severely ill patients. These were photos that a supporter of the charity took and then posted them online. Here, we can see Bach inserting an IV catheter into the baby's vein. But that was not all. Bach also tried to diagnose children and Google for solutions. Jackie witnessed it with another patient, the 9-month-old Patricia. In her blog, Bach described how she rushed Patricia and her parents into her center, which she called the clinic. She hooked the baby up to oxygen and started the treatment. She took the baby's temperature, inserted an IV, tested the baby for malaria, and examined her hemoglobin count and blood sugar levels. She blogged about how she guessed the baby's potential health problems, and then she decided that the baby needed a blood transfusion. Soon, Bach wrote "we" and didn't specify who that "we" was, and began the blood transfusion. However, roughly half an hour later, Patricia's condition deteriorated rapidly. Her face and neck began to swell, and she couldn't breathe. That's when Bach contacted Jackie and told her to come to the clinic. When Jackie arrived, she realized the blood transfusion was still in progress, and the baby was in bad shape. She was wheezing and swollen, and her throat was starting to clench. That's when Bach told Jackie that she thinks that the baby is having a reaction. But she has no idea what is happening because Google told her that if the child has a reaction, there would be a rash. and she didn't see a rash. Jackie was horrified. She said that in the United States and Uganda, only a medical expert is allowed to do invasive procedures, like a blood transfusion. And this is not a game. This is someone's life. It soon became obvious that Bach was making all the decisions. And in this particular patient, none of the nurses at the center were there to help. Bach decided to treat the child herself, but Bach denied it. She told the news that, yes, at times, she would perform medical procedures like inserting an IV or running the tubing into a child, but she did it under the direction and request. When she was confronted about her blog, she said that she only wrote it to tell her story to her family and friends. Bach stated that it was a mistake, that she wrote these blogs in the first person, and she wished she hadn't done that. When she looked back at it, she said these blogs made her sound very proud and claimed she did all those things by herself. This, in fact, wasn't the case, and there were skilled medical practitioners by her side. When she treated Patricia,
Okay, I did say back in the middle, in the early beginning, I did say back in the video that she should have been hired a practitioner. Now, I wasn't sure if practitioners do medical personnel, but I do remember hearing that medical practitioners do, deal with medical stuff. So I was right on that one. I'm just commenting on the medical practitioners. I was right. All right, I'm just clearing that up.
Bach said she remembered one of the nurses at the center did the transfusion. When the baby's health started deteriorating, the nurse phoned a private doctor who told her to take the child to a hospital. But there is one thing that Jackie and Bach agree on. It was Bach who took Patricia to the hospital, and the baby survived. But Jackie said this case was too close for comfort. She was angry. Soon after the incident, Jackie quit. Although she initially planned to stay a year, she stayed there for a few months. When she returned home, Jackie wrote a letter of concern to the charity's board of directors in the United States. From 2010 to 2015, Bach took in more than 900.
I ain't gonna lie. Now, for Jackie, I gotta give her respect for that. I respect Nurse Jackie. Credit to Nurse Jackie, y'all, because she did the right thing. You feel me? That's what a person who has a good heart and a good conscience, you're supposed to do. You feel me? You're supposed to care. You feel me? You're supposed to care. You're supposed to know that, all right, this ain't right. You feel me? See something, say something. You see me? Like, that's how it was, man. I'm glad that Nurse Jackie did the right thing. She was concerned, and she wrote to the board. Or she wrote to the people who were in charge, the chairpersons, the board, people who were in charge. And she let them know her concerns. She expressed her concerns, and I applaud her for that. Good job, Nurse Jackie. I wish your friend was more like you, but she has an ulterior motive that we don't know, and it could have been sinister. So we're gonna keep watching. But kudos to Nurse Jackie.
40 children who were severely malnourished, and 119 of these children died. According to Saul Guerrero, a senior advisor in malnutrition at UNICEF, the death toll at Bach's center was outrageous. In 2011, Bach took in 129 children under her care, but 20% of them died, almost passed away in the first 48 hours. In 2012, the death rate was 18%. In 2013, Bach hired 2 doctors, and the death rate was reduced to 10%. But, according to Guerrero, even these figures are still very high. They surpass the benchmarks set by international humanitarian.
That's the thing. I'm sorry to pause it, but y'all listen. Why didn't she just hire the doctors from the beginning? That means the death toll would have been low. Like, what's the point of trying to do the medical procedures by yourself? I'm still flabbergasted. Like, yo, I don't understand why you would try to attempt to do the procedures on your own when you don't have the medical background. You feel me? It don't make sense. It's kind of looking like she was experimenting. You feel me? Like, I mean, that same thing with the penicillin. Back in American history, black folks, black guys was, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know the whole fact, but it was some black people that was given tuberculosis and different diseases, and they had the cures, which was penicillin, but they didn't give it to them because they wanted to do something like find out how bad the virus was going to get or how bad the disease was going to get or something like that with penicillin. So I remember that was an experiment. People was experimenting on people who actually needed a cure. They had the cure, but didn't give it to them right away because they wanted to see something. Experimentation.
Organizations and an official government facility in Africa, especially one that caters to very vulnerable patients. The death rate is 20%. Bach's facility is a center, not a hospital. When journalists interviewed one of the locals who had her child treated at Bach's facility, she said she had been questioned before about Bach, and I quote, "They asked me if I knew the white lady, Bach. I said yes. They said she had treated so many children who had died, and that mine was among the few lucky ones who survived, probably by God's mercy. But opinions about Bach are mixed. Patricia's parents are defending Bach. They said that when no one came to help, she was there, and it is thanks to her that their daughter is alive. They added that when Patricia received medical treatment, Bach would stand aside and observe. Soon, Bach was facing a lawsuit. She was accused of treating hundreds of children who died under her care. In 2019, the Women's Pro Bono Initiative filed a lawsuit against Renee on behalf of two mothers who allegedly lost their children at this facility. These are Zubeida Gimbo from Namutumba District and Annette Kakai from Bukwe District. Mr. Charles Olwene, a former SHC employee, played a crucial role in providing evidence to the Jinja High Court. He started working as a gatekeeper in August 2009 and was later promoted to the position of driver in 2014. While he was working there for 8 years, he transported about 5 to 7 bodies a day on average. That's the equivalent of 2,555 every year, or 20,440 bodies in the course of 8 years. The two mothers who filed the suit stated that they were one of the many mothers who lost their children at Bach's facility. This was an illegal facility that put all of their patients' lives in danger. These mothers urged the court to ban the charity from Uganda and sought compensation for damages. When Bach's lawyers submitted their defense, Bach denied all charges. She labeled them as preposterous. But once the story hit the news, Bach found herself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. People started accusing her of doing medical experiments on children and soon to be part of the KKK. She was accused of falsely presenting herself as a doctor when she was not. She wore a stethoscope and a garb so that she would look like one. Since then, Bach has become the face of white saviorism in Africa, but she has never faced any criminal charges in the US.
This is what I had to tell my people in the diaspora. White folks, Caucasian folks are not your savior. They are not. Your savior, okay? The only person who can save you is the Most High, God, bruh, and yourself. That's it. My brothers and sisters in the diaspora, stop thinking that these westernized people from America and Europe and UK, wherever they from, they don't look like you. Respectfully, they don't look like you. You gotta ask yourself, can you really trust them? And for the people who do look like you, that's where you gotta use your discernment. You gotta be careful, y'all. Especially, you gotta watch out for these Caucasian folks, bro. They hurt, we have a history of them destroying us for no freaking reason, bro. What was the reason for this lady doing this? Like, really, though? She could have clearly just said she's not a doctor and hired doctors to really do the procedures. But she didn't until after the fact. So what does it tell you? She wanted to experiment. Basically, as an outsider looking in, I wasn't there. So I'm just drawing a conclusion based on the narrative that they're given from the information and knowledge that they have on her. This is actual factual. She ain't gonna just come out and say she was wrong. Like, you feel me? People can't take responsibility for being wrong. You wrong, you wrong. Wrong is wrong. Right is right. She's not going. I don't know. Let's keep watching, y'all. Let's keep watching.
Criticized Bach, said that she was luring families who were desperate for help. She convinced them to choose SHC. They said she posed as a licensed medical professional. Abner Tagula, the head of the pediatric hospital in the nearby town of Nalufenya, disputed these accusations. The two worked together for some time. He believed Bach was driven by desperation to help the sick infants who came to SHC. After the lawsuit against Bach was filed, the Uganda Medical and Dental Practitioners Council carried out its own independent investigation. Experts found that they couldn't support the allegations that patients died in such large numbers because of the SHC. SHC and Bach's attorney, David Gibbs, have strongly supported Bach's efforts. In a statement from 2019, SHC denied that Bach portrayed herself as a doctor. They did say she often helped in urgent situations, but she used skills that she learned from Ugandan medical experts. Also, both parties, the two mothers and Bach, have decided not to pursue legal action against each other. They completely let go of any potential claims. Gimbo said in a statement for The Guardian that she felt a sense of justice. Kakai said that this entire process took a toll on her, but now she feels this great sense of relief. She said that even though the verdict would never bring her child back, she wanted the world to know exactly what happened here. She believes that this way, she helped the families who couldn't speak out for themselves. Elizabeth Achola, a legal representative in the Women's Pro Bono Initiative, stated she was satisfied that both parties settled their dispute in a friendly manner. She believes that if the case lasted longer, it would have prolonged the pain and emotional distress for the two mothers. Achola hopes that the settlement can give these women some sort of closure.
See, I get what they saying. They trying to like, all right, give them like, bro. But it's not. It's beyond these two women, bro. There's multiple people who lost kids who didn't have the ability to testify or to object to, the stuff that happened. They didn't even get a chance to tell their side of the story. And then to have these two women who started out, going forward with bringing things to the light to just retract their stories and be like, oh, I'm okay with things. No, it's beyond you. Because things like this could continue to happen to other people. That's what it's about. It's beyond you now. Yeah, you was a victim. Condolences to your family, and God bless the soul of the person you lost. But at the end of the day, it's not going to stop. If you don't bust this shit wide open, if you don't blow the whistle and expose what's going on and stop these people, because they have to be stopped. If you don't do that, you're going to basically perpetuate the cycle. It's going to continue to go on. And then you can't feel bad because you had an opportunity to stop it or to do something about it, but you chose not to. Or it was only but so much you can do. If you did this and it's only but so much you can do because you don't want to take more of an emotional toll on you, then I understand and I get that. But I'm just saying from a point of, it's people out there who is beyond you, people who want to know, who want to avoid situations like this in the future, or people who still in that country, that part of Africa that's still going to this place, that don't even know what's really going on behind closed doors. So it's beyond you. It's for the people now. It's about it's about the information and the truth now. Let the truth be exposed. Which I'm glad they told their part, but at the end of the day, it's beyond you.
So they can move on. In 2019, Bach stepped down from her role as the SHC program director. She announced that the organization was being dissolved. Since then, a ton of media outlets covered the story. Soon, Bach got her own HBO documentary called Savior Complex. But it has come to light that 4 more families are contemplating taking legal action against Bach for the same reason. The Kampala-based advocacy group, No White Saviors, stated that they've collected $16,000 to cover legal fees for these families. Okay, now hear me out on this one. No White Saviors was founded by 2 people, Olivia Patience Alasso, a Ugandan social worker, and Kelsey Nielsen, a white American social worker. Their goal was simple: find and call out any cases of white savior complex and decolonize development. The group started criticizing Bach on social media in 2018. The Guardian recognized their efforts because they helped draw attention to Renee's story. But in 2022, Nielsen resigned. She was accused of using her white privilege in a way that marginalized the black members of the organization. A staff member at the time, Ruothomio Kabandel.
You see, we can't trust none of these Caucasian folks, bruh. None of them. And I'm saying that respectfully to any Caucasian folks that's watching this video. Respectfully, I'm not talking about you, okay? I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about the people you know. I'm talking about people like this. People like this that take advantage of other folks or that uses their skin tone as a position of power or use it as a flex. What's the point of that? Because if we want to get, I'm not even going to go down that road, but this is not to know. Listen, man, I'm talking about people like this, Caucasian folks like this, you feel me? And truth be told, I ain't even going to hold y'all. I have Caucasian people in my family. Not in my immediate, but in my family. Yeah. And so when I speak on Caucasian folks, I'm not talking about all Caucasian people. I'm talking about people like this, who think like this, who act and portray and do this type of behavior. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot trust these type of people at all. And it's all due to white supremacy. That's everybody's enemy, no matter who you are. That's the core. That's the root of what I'm feeling about these type of people. They're based on white supremacy. They feel like they have some type of authority above all people because they're Caucasian. I don't know. But this is what I'm talking about, y'all. These type of people. And the lady that was the one that was pretending to be a doctor, but she wasn't. Those type of people. Her and this lady right here who was using, even though she came from a good place. That's what I'm saying. They came from a good place, but she started using some of that white privilege, using some of that white power to get ahead or get above. It happens. It happens. I don't know why it happens, but it does happen.
Shared with The Guardian that Nielsen portrayed herself as the most radical advocate for Black liberation within the organization. Nielsen acknowledged in a public statement that she had struggled to recognize her own actions as stemming from her white privilege. She admitted she was extremely hypocritical in the way she acted. After Nielsen left, the organization went through a complete overhaul. They now have Black African leaders. Here's what they posted on X on September 15th, 2023. They said that, initially, they believed the documentary would point out their organization's efforts and what they did for the Ugandan community. However, they were seriously disappointed when the trailer suggested that the series would mainly focus on empathizing with the emotional distress of white women. They said they had their own story to tell, and they will use an African media company to do it. So, will Bach be facing more lawsuits and end up in jail? We don't know. What we do know is that Renee came back to Virginia, and she's not in jail. She's now living with her 2 children. The civil suit filed against her was settled. But when it ended, so did her missionary quest in Africa. Many actions taken by enraged parents pushed Renee even further into the...
So damn, you mean to tell me she just got off scot-free? All the people whether she killed them people intentionally or she killed them people by not knowing what the fuck she was doing, they still died, bro. And they deserve justice. So what, she just could walk scot-free? No, nothing, no repercussions, no responsibilities, nothing. She just good, like... She paid out the 2 women. That settlement got paid out. Got settled away, squared away, whatever. So that's it. That's all. So she could just come. So anybody could just come to Africa and just destroy the people, feed them these false hopes and all of this bull crap, pretending to be a savior, a white savior. Why? Why do you what's the point of that? And you can't expect things to happen. Like, bro, you're not going to have no good karma. Universe is ours, okay? Universe is ours. Melanin is what taps us into the universe. So you can't think that your life is going to be good after you did all of that to innocent lives. God don't play like that, bro. Universe don't play like that. Ancestors don't let that rock. You feel me? So if justice didn't get served through the courts and through the court of law, it's definitely going to come back through ancestors and karma. She going to get that. She going to get that work. I mean, I'm not wishing nothing bad upon her, but she do definitely deserve to go to jail or get some justice, you feel me? For them cases, you know what I mean, that's going swept under the rug. Like, nah, you can't do that. You feel me? It's like everybody just want to get a piece of Black folks. Like, let me take them for this or take them for that. Or, you feel me? Like, bro, do we do that shit to them? Do we go to Europe and try to help Europe and pretend like we helping them and really be doing some alternative, some other type of stuff, you feel me, behind closed doors? No. So why do it to us and our people? I don't understand. This is a real question, y'all. Like, what's the problem with Caucasian folks and Black folks, bro? Like, what is the problem? It's a disconnect, I understand, I get that. But what is the problem with y'all? What's the problem with us? Like, why can't, what's the problem between the 2 nations? The Caucasian folks and the Black folks? Or the Negroes? I ain't gonna say Black, or Negroes. Us Negroes and the Caucasians. What's the problem? Why we can't just build our own shit? Excuse my language. Why we can't just be left alone? You feel me? Why we can't thrive and be a people and just have our own this and have our own that and not have it destroyed, Now people envious and angry and jealous of us because we're able to sustain ourselves. Why? Why can't we just live on our own? Why can't we just be at peace, bro? I mean, I understand. And Martin Luther King just gave a speech, some decades ago, if you will. But what was that speech for? Whose dream? It don't make sense for us to have a dream about something and then the dream to never come to pass because somebody just don't want that to come true. They want to control the narrative. They want to control the depiction of your own dream, even if it's into your own reality. Your dream is your dream, but if you're trying to turn your dream into a reality, who the fuck are you to try to stop that? Excuse my language. I'm gonna continue the video because it's just about done, but I'm gonna finish it up, man, and then I'm gonna end it at that. Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's keep going.
Limelight, making her one of the most hated women in Jinja. Well, Renee's story is a clear reminder that every action we take will have consequences. Even if we want to help, we must know what we are doing. And by playing God, Renee blurred the lines between unintentional harm and genuine help. Her actions caused a lot of controversy. The truth is, Uganda may not be a rich country, but they do have healthcare experts, skilled professionals who are trained to save lives. They are the ones who should be trusted to provide medical care.
Thank you.
Not someone who Googles their way through every problem and tries to help. I think the best way to help these communities would be to offer assistance within Uganda's healthcare facilities or provide funds directly to impoverished families.
Here's an urgent message for all those grappling with herpes virus.
All right, y'all. That'll do it. Pass cool. That's the end of the video. If y'all like that video, like, comment, subscribe. Put them post notification bells on and be notified every time I upload a new video. That was my commentary on my Watch It Out Loud video, man. I'm gonna do more of these, but I'm trying to do something different on my channel. That'll do it. Pass cool. It's your boy Whittlefoot signing out. I'ma holla at y'all later. That's it. Peace.